Welcome everybody to our combined coach call. Today is June 8th, 2015. And tonight's call, I'm just so excited to have everybody who's here. And if you're watching this on the playback afterward, I'm so glad that you're taking the time to watch this. My name is Michael McBride. I'm the founder of Ripped 411. I'm a diamond coach, and I've been a coach for about 5 years now. And I wanted to have a conversation together all about belief. That's our topic for tonight, and I encourage everybody to feel free to share and interact and have a conversation about this. I've got some thoughts. I want to share a little bit of the story, and I have some activity that I think is going to be really awesome, and that will also have some interaction. So it all comes down to belief. And I hope everybody had a chance to watch the Brendon Burchard video that was in our invitation. I know I watched it twice just to make sure that I got some of that. So if you've not had a chance to check that video out, the link to that is in the invitation, or you can just search on YouTube for Brendon Burchard Limiting Beliefs is what I searched for, and that comes right up. Just so I have an idea, is there anybody else who was able to watch the Brendon Burchard video? I will be sharing some things directly from it, so it's a good thing I watched it. Great. Great. So what I want to do to start out with is to share some of my own story and how throughout my own story it was connected to this idea of belief. So about 5 years ago, before I started with Beachbody, I kind of made things up in the gym. I would read the fitness magazines. I would see whatever workouts, whatever celebrity was doing, and I would do that for a couple weeks. And I did like crazy ab things and ab crunchers, and was just frustrated. Like just nothing seemed to work. And I felt like I was working really, really hard. I had seen the Beachbody infomercials. Of course, they're everywhere. They spend over $100 million in advertising every year. So I was familiar with programs like P90X and Insanity, but honestly, I kind of brushed it off. I basically thought they were either a scam, or the people who did the before and after pictures were models, or it was Photoshop. Like it just didn't register as something that was legitimate or something that would be right for me. And then I had some students, I'm a university music professor, I had some students tell me that they had done P90X the summer before and had lost like 30 pounds. And I was like, what? People do this? It's not just some TV thing? So it kind of got me thinking, and then maybe a month later or so, I had gorged myself on a large pizza, fallen asleep on the couch in a carb coma with the TV blaring, and what else is showing on Saturday morning at 4 a.m. but the P90X infomercial? And for some reason, it registered. And I think because I had heard about somebody else doing it, and it worked for somebody else that I knew, I paid attention to the infomercial in a way that I had never done before, to the point that I decided to go ahead and pick up the phone and buy P90X. So I committed to doing it. Over those 3 months, I had some ups and I had some downs. I had times when I was feeling impatient, when I was really struggling. However, one of the big differences was that there was a structure. I wasn't just making it up. And there was a deadline. I had this light at the end of the tunnel. I knew if I could just get to day 90, then I could make my judgment on it and see if it was working. One of the big things that I used to propel myself forward during that time was I looked up transformation videos on YouTube. This was before I had any idea what coaching was, because I just bought it off an infomercial, and I guess I was assigned to a coach, but he never reached out to me. So I would just, whenever I was feeling down, whenever I was feeling like I had hit a plateau or it just wasn't working, I would just look up some transformation video on YouTube. And watching those showed me, I got the idea, if that person can do it, then so can I. And I think that was the most important seed that was planted for me. So by the end of the 100 days, I took 10 extra days because I was not perfect. By the end of the 100 days, I had actually lost 25 pounds, 13% body fat, and I found my six-pack abs for the very first time in my life. I was blown away. It was just crazy. And I was so excited that I made my own YouTube transformation video because I thought that's just what people do. Put it up online, and my coach, Josh Spencer, found it and was like, hey, have you ever heard of coaching? I was like, no, what is that? Told me all about it, and then I became a coach because of that. And people were asking, what did you do? So that's, as I think about my story, I want to kind of put this in the lens of belief. In the very beginning of my journey, I was a skeptic. If I could rate my belief level on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 1, maybe a 0 or -2. My level of belief was very, very low. And then as I saw other people say that they had done it, as I watched these transformation videos, my level of belief started to increase. It started to, be maybe a 3 or a 4. And then once I had hit my 90 days or 100 days, and I saw the results, and I looked at my before and after pictures right next to each other, and I was like, holy crap, this thing worked. My level of belief shot up, I don't know, maybe 10, 11. I was like, this is amazing. This thing works. And it really started with that idea of, if they could do it, so can I. So once I was able to transfer my belief from what others had done into what I thought I could do, into what I had already done, I was unstoppable. I just knew this was a legitimate thing. And basically, it's this idea of when we have the opportunity to engage with a trusted source, in my case, it was my students, then we have a chance to actually transfer their belief into our belief. However, it's not until we experience it firsthand that we really get the big effects of our own belief and just seeing how powerful that is. So I want to share this story within the context of an activity that I'd like to lead us in. So if you have your paper and pencil or your electronic device, go ahead and pull that out right now. And I want to give us 7 categories. So I'll read these off, and just on your paper, just do like a little list of 7 categories. So category number 1 is your ability to achieve your own fitness goal. Your ability to achieve your own fitness goal. If you want to abbreviate that to fitness goal, you can do that. Category number 2 is the quality and effectiveness of Beachbody workout programs. And if you want to abbreviate that to Beachbody workout programs, that's fine. Category number 3, the quality, effectiveness, and value of Shakeology. And if you want to abbreviate that to Shakeology, be my guest. Category number 4, your ability to attract others who you want to help with fitness. Your ability to attract others who you want to help with fitness. Category number 5, your ability to motivate and inspire others in their fitness goal. Your ability to motivate and inspire others in their fitness goal. Feel free to abbreviate however you like. 2 more. Category number 6 is your ability to attract high-quality coaches. Your ability to attract high-quality coaches. And then finally, category number 7, your leadership ability to help your coaches become successful. Your leadership ability to help your coaches become successful. Does anybody need to hear the categories again? All good? Great. Okay, so what I want us to do is take into account all of the personal experience that you've had yourself, as well as any experiences that you've seen other people do. I want you to be honest with yourself with this, and we're going to rate our level of belief from 1 to 10. 1 is a low level of belief, 10 is a high level of belief. And just so everybody knows, there is no wrong number. If you feel like your number is low in a certain area, please put that down. This is a time just to really just kind of see, it's not so much of being better or worse at something, but it's really about locating yourself where you are in your belief journey in that area. In the very same way that as I was growing in my belief journey, it started as like a -3 in my ability to create change in my body, and then it went all the way to a 10. So whatever number makes sense for you, go ahead and put those down and rate your level of belief from 1 to 10 in each of those 7 categories. We'll give a couple seconds to write that out. And I'll go ahead and do it too. Okay, is there anybody who needs more time? Okay. All right, so what I'd like to do is actually just go around and share some of our numbers. Actually, hold on, let's do this. Instead of sharing our numbers on everything right now, let's go ahead and do this. Let's share what is your top category and what is your bottom category. And if you have any ties, you can feel free to pick whichever one you like. For me, my top categories were in my ability in the first 3 categories to achieve physical results, the Beachbody programs, and the value and effectiveness of Shakeology. And my bottom category is my leadership ability to help my coaches become successful. Pete, how about for you?
Let's see. My top categories was the Beachbody workouts and Shakeology, and probably attracting others would be the lowest one. So, right now.
Okay. Yeah, attracting others who want help with fitness. Is that the one? Okay. Thank you. And David, how about for you?
I had a tie for the highest. So that's number 2, the quality and effectiveness of Beachbody workout programs, and my ability to attract others who I want to help with fitness. And then the low category was my leadership ability to help coaches become successful.
Great, thanks. Chris?
There we go. I kept double clicking, and you don't have to on this Mac. I think I see a pattern. My highest is the belief in Beachbody programs. I thought it was interesting when I rated, though. I actually rated the belief in programs higher than my ability to complete them, just by one number, but still, that says something, right? And my lowest is very similar. It's the ability to inspire success for other coaches, the last one.
Yep. I'm seeing a pattern. Joyce, how about for you?
My highest one was the ability to achieve my own fitness goals. So that was my highest. And then my lowest was attract others that I could help with their fitness goals.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good, thanks. Ashley?
My top one was I achieve my own fitness goals, and my lowest is my leadership ability and attracting other coaches, high quality coaches.
Great, thanks. And Sarah?
My highest was the quality, effectiveness, and value of Shakeology, and then my lowest was the ability to attract not that one. The ability to attract others who want to have help with things.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting how we have, it seems like our categories are similarly weighted. Like we're all, it seemed to rate the fitness, our own kind of control of ourself much higher than our ability to kind of affect people outside of us. And no matter if you rated yourself between an 8 and a 10 or a 1 and a 10, that seems to be kind of the journey. It's a natural part of the journey. Also, it's a really cool thing to know that we can draw upon past experiences and transfer belief over into other areas. I don't know about you, but my own belief in my ability to change my body, started very, very low, and then it went very high. Is there anybody else who experienced that as well?
Yeah, over time. Yeah, since being exposed to the Beachbody programs, yes.
And what was the difference for you? Like, what was it for you that caused your belief in your ability to affect your own health to go from low to high?
I think it's stability. I think it's not giving up too quick on a smaller pattern. You see some new exercise, you try it for 2 or 3 weeks, and you drop it. Or you find something new and you're lost in the next thing. Here, there's some stability, I think. And then you can see the results.
Yes.
Plus the food as well. Wasn't something I really paid that much attention to. I thought I could feel my muscles with bacon. Apparently not.
Yep.
Yeah. I was really close to giving up about the thought that I could have a regular fitness practice at the time that I started doing 21 Day Fix, because I had tried various things, various whatever programs, or I'm in a men's organization, so I would make a weekly stretch with my men's group, and I would work out that week, but then I would stop. And so I come to the thought that, maybe I won't be able to do this. And so this year I've been working out all year. My thought about my ability to attract people has changed a lot from Facebook, because whenever I post results, a bunch of people, like always more than 50 people, comment on it or like it. And that's a big surprise to me.
Yeah. So these things are growing for you. Getting further along in that journey.
A lot.
That's awesome. Any other? No. All right. So just to kind of turn this all around and bring in the content from the Brendon Burchard video, so I'll just give a real quick summary right now. He talked about this idea of limiting beliefs as being a very popular concept within psychology and within kind of transformation work. And a lot of people kind of talk about, well, the reason I'm not successful is because I have limiting beliefs. And with the exercise that we just did, kind of the numbers that we rated our belief in, if you rated yourself as a very low number or a lower number, then that would be an example of what some might call a limiting belief. But we're going to turn this. He says, yep, limiting beliefs are popular, they're very common. However, they're a very ineffective concept to focus on. So he's flipping this, where instead of spending all of our time perseverating, like thinking over and over about the things that I'm not good at, the things that I'm limited by, instead of focusing on those negative things, what we need to be doing is placing our attention on what is strong, what is good, what is working for us. So it's a big flip. And he has this acronym that he has, it's RWID, the relative weight of importance and duration. And it's the concept of whatever thoughts we have during the day all the time, if we put a lot of importance on them, or if we think about them for a long time, those are the things that mold our lives. So, for example, if somebody is going on and on to themselves about, oh, I'll never lose weight, I'll never be able to get off this last 5 pounds, and they're thinking about that all day, that's not going to help them lose weight. It's not going to do anything for them, but probably make them feel really bad and defeated. And he gives this analogy where he said, if you're driving in a car and you put less pressure on the brake in your car, that won't make you speed up. You have to take your foot off the brake and you have to put it on the gas. So we have to take our thoughts off of whatever is not working, whatever we feel very poorly about, and we have to put our attention on the things that are working. And if there are weaknesses in our lives and things that we need to grow in, instead of going on and on about how bad we feel about them, put yourself in front of other people who are very strong and who are helpful in those areas so that you can gain the right kinds of tools and inspiration to be working in that direction. And I think that's something that every single one of us have experienced with our fitness transformations so far. The second thing that he talks about is this idea of insecurity. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of insecurity. I rated myself very low for my ability to lead successful coaches. And the interesting thing is, as I talk to other coaches who are more successful than I am, and I ask them, what are your struggles? What are your questions? What are your weaknesses? They are the people who talk the most and the longest about the things that they are struggling in. So I think it's really important, and Brendan talks about this, that we will always have insecurities. So the quest is not how do we remove insecurities, it's what are we going to do in the face of insecurities. Are we going to let them control us and stop us, or are we going to acknowledge them and then keep going toward our goals? Let's see, I made a couple notes. Oh yeah, and then he gives us this analogy. He says, stop focusing on why you're a mouse in life and start focusing on why you're a lion. Every single one of us are ferocious, powerful, beautiful, strong, attractive lions and lionesses. And the closer we get to really believing that based on our previous belief journey and knowing that we can apply that to other areas that we're not as far along in the journey, that is what's going to be pulling us forward. And if there's anything that we've learned from watching, these reality television shows, is there's a lot of unqualified successful people. There's a lot of people who are very successful and very unqualified for it. And typically we scoff at them. However, why don't we look at that as hope for us? Why don't we say, well, clearly being qualified is not the sole factor of being successful. Maybe there's something else going on, and maybe it's belief and it's confidence in ourselves that is filling the gap between being qualified and being unqualified. Belief is the permission that we get to try, to practice, and to gain competence. If I don't believe that I can do something, I won't even try. I will take my ball and go home. But if I believe that there's a possibility, then I'm going to try. And I'm going to be really bad at it at first, and then I'm going to do it again and again and again, and I'm going to get better at it. So instead of focusing on these negative things, we can focus on the positive. Number one, we can focus on our greatness. Don't focus on how big the problem is. Focus on how big you are. Number two, we can focus on our aliveness. The power plant doesn't have energy. The power plant generates it. We don't have energy, we generate it. If there's something that you feel like you're low energy in, that our belief is really low in, then don't wait for some external force to come in and increase your level of belief. You increase your level of belief for no other reason but to increase your level of belief. And then number three, we can focus on love. We can focus on the connection that we all have toward each other. And we can understand that whenever we build walls around us to protect us from the bad, from getting hurt, then those are the very same walls that keep out the good and the love and the connection that's all around us. It's vital, it's raw, it's vulnerable, sometimes it hurts, but it's good and it's worthy. And those are the things that we can focus on: our greatness, our aliveness, and love. That's a summary of the Brendon Burchard video. I hope you got pumped enough to watch it yourself, and he does a great job of talking about that. What I'd like to do kind of as like a wrap-up of my presentation before we do a Q&A, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts about this as well, is to go to those categories, those 7 categories. Pick an area that you rated yourself the lowest, whichever area that is. And if it's a tie, feel free to pick one of those. And we all kind of shared with each other what that was already. For no reason whatsoever, I want every single one of us to replace the number, that low number that we put there, with a 10. Just write a 10. Now, looking at that number 10 next to that category, does that change any feelings that you have about yourself? Does that bring up any thoughts of empowerment or, oh no, this is a lie?
It feels totally empowering. It's that it feels tingling. Physically, it feels like my head is tingling.
Yeah.
It became a goal the moment it came up. And goals are possible. So immediately the possibility is there for that to be true.
Awesome. Awesome. So what I want for each one of us to do is take that category that you've now replaced with a number 10, and I want each one of us to find another person who demonstrates a high level of belief or activity, who you think is a really great example, who is a 10. in that category. And if you need help finding somebody, we can work on that as a team, even after the call. Especially if you're a brand new coach, you're still getting to know everybody who's around you. Follow them, listen to them, read what they write, watch what they do, and even reach out to them if you can. And here's the little twist. See yourself as an equal to that person. They're not above you. They're not below you. You are on the very same plane because they are a 10 and you are a 10. Because if they could do it, so can you. And when you found that person, go ahead and post in your own coach group, either the TNO or your own smaller coach group. And that'll be the kind of the way that we can marinate in the expertise of the people that are going to show us what is possible for ourselves.
Cool.
So I want to know your thoughts, questions, comments. While you're thinking of that, thank you so much for being here. I'm really glad that you took the time to do that and to listen and to share so generously.
Well, this kind of reminds me of that Will Smith we watched in Orientation a long time ago. About letting people step on your dream and smash on it. And you can't. Don't let them do that.
Yeah.
So the big takeaway, like the two big takeaways from this second half, this presentation for me were the thought that that those limiting beliefs aren't going to go away, and that I sort of trying to hack away at those limiting beliefs isn't really going to produce the kind of results that I'm looking for, and the thought of focusing on focusing on strength and just say, as you said, saying for no reason at all, deciding that I'm a 10 at the thing that I said I was the lowest. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And even if it doesn't feel true, the more you live into it, the more it will resonate. Any other takeaways or questions, or do you feel like I'm just curious about what you think of that idea of belief?
Like for me, like you all have no idea who I am. For me, 2 months ago, just thinking back on it, all of them were zeros for me. With the life that I had prior to it, I didn't think I could ever lose 90 pounds in a very short span of time. And I didn't have any motivation. I always thought, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm just going to live fat for the rest of my life. And just thinking back on it, just where my numbers are now and where I can see them going later on, it's kind of motivating for me to see those and see where I can go and what my potential can be.
You've lost 90 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow! That's phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Wow. That's amazing. I guess I'll say one other thing if anybody else is kind of, thinking about it, and then, we can close up pretty soon unless you have burning thoughts or questions. And it's this whole idea of looking at people who are very, very successful. There's usually two responses that people have when they look at those who are very successful in an area that they admire. The least common response is, wow, that sounds great. I can do that too. I feel super empowered. the most common response is, ugh, they're going to do it better than me, faster than me. I don't know if I can do this. I've worked so hard and I'm not seeing the same kinds of results that other person has. And, there's kind of a danger in only looking at these rock stars or people who have just made these huge accomplishments if you fall in the category of feeling defeated by that. I think it is so important that every single person celebrates whatever progress that they've made. If it's from a 1 to a 2, that's double. It's awesome. Instead of focusing or comparing ourselves to other people, people who've gone from like a 1 to a 9 in 2 weeks, if we're putting all of our focus on them and we're comparing ourselves, comparison is killer. And the thing in the Beachbody world is we're around all these coaches and we see all these really successful people. And sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm not as good at whatever as some other coach, so I'm not going to share my life with the people around me. But the difference is that the people in our circles outside of Beachbody have no clue what these other rock stars are doing. They have no clue, that somebody's making 6 figures in working their business in 2 years. What they do know is that your life went from here up. No matter if it's small or if it's big, they have nothing to compare it to. So share boldly, share joyously with love and excitement any way that your life has improved from what you're doing, from your hard work. And if you feel that your life is better in any way, do share that, because it does make an impact. And nobody else is comparing you to people that they don't know. Great. So that was my last thought. Anybody else have comments or things that you wanted to talk about? Awesome. Good. Well, thank you so much for joining our call. And I look forward to seeing who our mentors are, and go ahead and post those in the group, and have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michael.